and welcome to A Tavern at Night, Firelight. This is the sequel to A Tavern at Night, in which you continue your adventure with Azram, a very sexy orc that you meet at the tavern during one rainy night. Let's get started. Hail and well met, stranger. What's your name? Use your pronouns. You sink down in the tall grass, grateful to give your legs a break. You've been walking all day. Azram keeps a murderous pace, and despite what he calls incessant whining and what you call common sense, he's only marginally adjusted his strides to yours. At least the weather's been nice. As if to make up for it, ever since your first encounter with the tall mercenary during a particularly stormy night, the sky has remained a friendly blue. Now summer tucks the sun away in red golden hues, and for a few moments, the last rays drape the world in a warm yellow glow that softens even the sharp edge of Azram's Y-hander. And though Azram rolls his eyes when you point out a pretty sunset, you know he likes them too, because he allows the two of you a break, you catching your breath and him nonchalantly adjusting his pack on his back every time you do. You kick off your boots, wipe the dry crust of mud coating the sides, and wiggle your toes. Nice weather or no, you have more blisters than you like. Ow! You wince when you inspect the angry red skin, and breathe a few curses under your breath when your skin chafes like the seven hells. Everything alright? Azram looks back to you over his shoulder from his attempt at a campfire. My feet hurt. Azram huffs, and you hear the sound of a match striking a tinderbox, followed by the familiar crackle of a campfire. No surprise there. Come here then. Oh, he's here! Look at this man! Oh, look how hot he is. Oh, he's so huge. Oh, he's like rubbing your feet. Oh. Azram crouches next to you, picks up one of your feet and drapes it over his thigh. One hand holds you steady, huge meaty paw resting on your shin, while the other reaches for a pouch at his side. He tisks as he inspects the blisters. Your boots weren't made for walking, that's for sure. If I agree with you, will you carry me for the rest of the way? Absolutely not. The hand of your leg squeezes it in warning. But if there's anything you learned after traveling with Azram for 2 weeks, it's that despite all his complaining, he never actually gets angry with you for poking and prodding him. I'm gonna poke him and prod him enough that he kisses me. But if you agree I'm right, I will give you some of the Wild Witch's wondrous wellness cream. He holds up the tin, a dry, taunting smile on his lips. The campfire gleams off its edges when he shakes it mockingly. I believe that's what we call coercion, sir. What's that? You rather go without? Oh, great Azram, conqueror of worlds. Your eye sees all and your lips speak only truth. Go on. My boots suck ass big time and I want the salve. Pretty please? Azram huffs a chuckle, and then he surprises you when he doesn't throw the tin at you like he's done every other night, but instead opens it, dabs some of the salve on his fingertip, and very gently rubs it on your blisters. Oh, feel better? Yeah, thanks. You watch him tend to your feet in silence for a little while. He doesn't even look grossed out, but then he said he's had his fair share of gruesome sights during his time as a merc. You'd hope your feet would rank somewhere low on that list. Along with the growing dark of night, a small wave of disappointment washes over you. This will be the last time Azram will tease you about your boots. The last time he'll pretend to cajole you into lending you his salve. After meeting in the tavern, you and Azram spent the night together in more ways than one. Ayo. To say you enjoyed yourself will be an understatement, but for whatever reason, it hasn't happened again ever since. You wish it would happen again. Hell yeah, I do. Maybe it's just you, but what you shared with Azram felt more than just a way to satisfy your physical desires. You don't want the time you spent together to be a one-off. Tonight will be your last opportunity to change that. Once your feet are properly salved up and wrapped with clean bandages, Azram lets go of your leg, wipes his hands on his trousers and turns around to rummage around in his pack. Hungry yet? Starving. What's for dinner? Wait, no. Let me get. You lean back, one arm behind you to support your weight, the other raised up to tap at your chin in mock thought. 2 days ago it was bean stew. Yesterday was bean stew. Wait, could it be? Is today also bean stew? Azram gives you a flat look while he cracks open a can of what is, in fact, bean stew. Don't like it? You're welcome to cook any time. And give up your gourmet meals? Never. Whoever said that hunger is the best sauce hasn't been served mushy bean stew for 6 days in a row. Still, you're not ungrateful, and you take your steaming bowl from Azram with a soft thanks. The meal is enjoyed in relative silence. The crackle and snap from the campfire is soothing, as is the warming stew in your stomach. The sky has truly grown dark now, and it's a clear night. The stars wink down at you from far above at intervals. After you've washed up, you wrap yourself in your bedroll, while Azram pokes at the fire. A familiar little ritual that has come to both of you so naturally. You could have been on the road together for years. I'll take first watch. You get some rest. So he says. You're far from tired. You shuffle onto your back to watch the night sky instead. And apparently, Azram has the same idea, because a moment later he lies down beside you. Hehe. If I roll over, I could just kiss him. Only if he's okay with it though. If you see a falling star, I call dibs. Azram snorts a laugh. What would you need it to make a wish on? What else would I do with it? Don't tell me you never wished on a star before. I'll sit around and wait for a star to give me what I want. What's your wish then? I wish you would be happy for the rest of your life. It's quiet for a beat. When Azram speaks, his voice is very soft. Well, aren't you sweet? Guess I'll have to try hard to make it come true. You snuggle deeper into your bedroll, curling closer to the warmth of the campfire. Azram? Tell me a bedtime story. Azram snorts. Who's the one complaining their feet hurt and they were tired all day? Come on, else I won't be able to fall asleep, please? Gods. Once upon a time, there was a mercenary who made the mistake of letting the biggest pain in the arse in the world tag along with him. The end. That is so rude. I hope you wake up with ants in your bedroll. Think they bite harder than you? You gonna find out, big guy? Your threat is entirely idle. The only thing that could get you to leave the comfort of your warm bedroll is the end of the world. Even that is a solid maybe. Where was all this energy 4 hours ago? Could have carried my pack for me. And you think I would have kept up with you, do you? I'm struggling as it is. That's because you're lacking stamina. I told you, if you join me during my morning exercises. I don't have a death wish, thank you. And I'm struggling because your legs are stupid long, not because I'm out of shape. You keep telling yourself that short stuff, maybe I will, buttface. Azram smothers a laugh behind his hand and drags it over his face before resting it on his head. He sounds exasperated, but you catch a note of amusement in his voice. You're so childish, dragging me down to your level. Maybe that's what you need. Taken down a peg or two. Azram turns back to watch the stars with a derisive snort. Somewhere in the distance, an owl lets out a soft hoot, and another answers. Hey, let's play a game. Azram groans. Ugh, more games. Do you not tire of them? Well, no, but that's not the point. It's our last night together. There's a beat where that fact hangs heavily in the air. Of course you've spoken about it before. Azram said in no uncertain terms that he'd accompany you until your destination, but after you reach Willow's End, you'll part your ways again. Azram said something about having to take care of business on his end, whatever that means. Alright, not like there's any stopping you anyway. Fine, no games. I have something I think you might like better. You wriggle your arms free of your bedroll and reach for your pack. You have more than one set of cards. You're nothing, if a little flexible. After maneuvering yourself into a comfortable position, you shuffle the deck with nimble fingers and smile at Azram over the flip of the cards. Do you know Fortune's Part? No. It's supposed to be a card game? Not a game. It's a way to tell someone's fortune. I shuffle the cards, you pick past, present, or future, and then I'll read you a spread of 3. Thought you said no games. Hey, fortune cards aren't games. People pay good money to read their fortunes. Alright. Let's hear it then. After giving Azram one last indignant huff, you separate your stack into 3 neat little piles and place them down gently in the grass. So, which one do you want to hear about? I really don't know anything about fortune cards. How about you choose for me? Sure. Client is king after all. So I get my money back if I don't like what my fortune is. Those ants in your bedroll don't have to show up of their volition. That's all I'll say. Oh god, okay. I'm gonna pick this one because it looks nice. This looks scary. This looks agonizing. Azram gives you a wry smile. Aren't I in the present right now? What's a card gonna tell me? That I'm breathing wrong? Entirely wrong, I'm afraid. Maybe close your mouth and stop talking. That should help. Azram rolls his eyes, but does as he's told, and shuts up. Let's see. The present, 5 of stars. On the card, a lone figure reaches out to the stars in the sky. Maybe if they catch their light, the long dark night will finally break into a dawn of new beginnings. This one good or bad? There's no good or bad with fortune card, but this one's pretty hopeful overall, I'd say. A peaceful sort of transition into something new. The 5 and 5 of stars stands for the 5 fingers of the hand, meaning it's about connection, or wishing for connection, or longing in general. You think longing is hopeful? You don't think so? You get to look forward to whatever's yet to come. You know, the future at your fingertip. Think I'm a little old to be looking towards a hopeful future. Azram's voice is a wry grumble, as if to scoff both at the fortune you're reading him and at himself. If you knew him a little better, you'd see the hesitance lining his words also, a repressed wish to be proven wrong. There has to be something you want though, right? What do you wish for most in the world? What do I wish most for? You can see the answer in Azram's face before he says it by the quirk of his lips. To be left alone and finally get some sleep sure would be nice. Yeah, you just don't want to admit you're gonna miss me. Maybe just a little, but what I want most? Selfish things. Come on, you're not gonna tell me? I don't mind if you're a little selfish. A pause. For a moment, Azram's eyes flicker to your lips, but despite the campfire, it's too dark to really be sure. How about this? If you guess right, I'll tell you. Now who's the one who wants to play games? Fine, I think what you want most is a kiss. Look at him blush! Yay! He's so cute. Well, did I get it right? What? No, you didn't. Then why won't he look at you? Is that a blush you see? Wait, but did I? Do you want a kiss? No, stop asking. You just surprised me. Give Azram a heavy accusing stare that he refuses to meet. Suspicious behavior that, but you'll let it slide this time. Alright, ready for the next? Sure. Oh, what the heck? The mirror? That looks scary. The future, huh? What's the glass orb say? That I'm gonna see a tree while I'm walking on the road? Let's see. Oh yes! There it is, clear as day. It predicts you might get a smack to your face if you keep being so rude. Azram lets out an ungraceful snort and rolls his eye. He waves one hand in a go-on-then manner. The crossroads. Pretty straightforward with this one. You're at a point in your life where you can take things in a new direction, but you haven't decided yet. Right now is where you're weighing the scales. Maybe feeling some doubt. This card also goes by the fate in some circles. Azram makes a face. Ugh, fate. You know I don't believe in that. Alright. No fateful encounters for you. Have a way at your choose your own adventure instead. Oh, I like that. Choose my own adventure. Well, what does the card say I should do? Do I go left or right? Azram taps the card on the spot where the road splits. That'll be 5 gold coins. Thank you. You hold out your open palm, raising your brows expectantly. There's a beat where you think you fooled him, but then he laughs. Know your tells by now, sweetheart. Not for me. Whatever. Stop looking so smug. If we were strangers, I'd have your pockets lighter in no time. Just don't quit your day job. So, you gonna tell me which way to go? Well, no, that's up to you. This is your adventure, remember? Thought the point was to tell me my future. I thought you didn't like your fate to be predetermined. If you're the oracle, it's a different story. In that case, I bless your future with a whirlwind romance. Azram, fall in love. Now that's something I'd love to see. Bit of a cliche, don't you think? Not at all. Submitting to some lovelorn yearning builds character. Azram laughs, soft and low. So I'm meant to suffer then. A blessing turned curse. How kind of you. You laugh too as you place the crossroads back into the stack. You have to admit, Azram is right. Love can be both a blessing and a curse. Give Azram a half smile as your hand hovers over the 3 stacks. That's 2 down. What happens if I click this again? Next up, another card from the future stack. The dark blues make the illustration a little hard to see in the half dark, and you have to angle it towards the light of the campfire to make it out. Oh, the key. Azram, curious, leans over as well. The card depicts a closed door surrounded by thorny bushes. The golden lion hammered into the wood gleams a rich gold, a colourful contrast against the pale night hues. Don't see any key, just a keyhole. That's right. You're gonna be the one to figure out what kind of key has to go in there. Azram sighs and pulls away. Always making me work, What am I doing this time? Breaking and entering? You smother a laugh behind your hand before settling back down next to Azram. I mean, maybe. I don't know what you've got planned. The card is about looking for the best approach, traversing something new, but you saw those thorns, didn't you? So whatever your goal is, it won't be easy. You have the lion there for courage though, so I think you'll be alright. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Are you ever afraid when you're fighting? Afraid? I'm not sure I'd call it afraid. I feel determination, focus. I can't be thinking about how I'm gonna die. I need to think about how I'm gonna stay alive. Don't you ever get tired of it? Boss, it used to suit me well, but lately I've been... Azram looks away and sighs. Never a shortage of strife at least. There's always someone who has it out for someone else. True, but what about you? Do you have a sworn enemy? Only employers who don't feel like paying me fairly. Going by the look on Azram's face, the list of said sworn enemies that remain alive is very short. Maybe you just need to work on your diplomatic skills. They say you can talk your way out of anything if you know how to. Yeah, like if you're rolling that 20 on your charisma. Why would I do that when I've got my Zweihander with me? You're very brave. Am I? I don't know about that. Of course you are. Look at the work you do. Maybe with certain things. Others, though, I don't quite have the courage for. You want to ask what those are, but your own courage wavers when there's a beat where Azram's eyes lock with yours for too long. You're the first to break away, eyes glancing back down at your cards spread before you. With that, you place the final card back on the stack. Well, that's the last of it, so let's put it all together now. Right now, you're transitioning peacefully into a new phase of your life, where you might feel a desire to connect to something new. Soon you'll find yourself having to choose between 2 opportunities. Both will lead you to a new part of your life, but you might feel doubt about making the right choice. Maybe you have to reflect on the best approach for your decision. You might even have to do something difficult or dangerous to get what you want. And that's it. What do you think? Azram listens to you with a small smile, watches you carefully put your cards away again. Well, it was new. Never got my fortune read before. Kind of odd to be told what's happening right now. Makes you wonder if those cards have eyes. Hey, how'd you know about the eye? That's a trade secret. You lie back down and stifle a yawn. You're finally starting to feel drowsier, but you're also a little cold. While summer days can be blazing hot, the nights turn cool, and the embers of the dying fire aren't doing enough to chase away the chill. You bury your nose deeper into your bedroll, suppressing a shiver. Cold? You let out a soft and curl closer to the campfire. Come here. Azram holds out one arm, pats his chest, with his free hand. It takes a second to dawn on you that he's inviting you to snuggle. Really? Only if you want. Absolutely I do. You wiggle closer and cuddle right up to his side. Azram's arm wraps around your shoulder when you settle, a protective layer between you and the rest of the world. You sigh in utter bliss. It's ridiculous how warm he is. Must be a total nightmare for him during the day when the sun's out, yet you never heard him complain. He's blushing again. Better? So much. You tentatively sneak your own arm across Azram's chest. You receive a gentle squeeze in response. Azram's heart beats steady under your palm, its rhythm accompanied by the soft brush of his thumb on your shoulder. Always knew you were a cuddler. Not much else I can be when you're sticking to my side like a leech. You give his chest a gentle slap in protest. How dare you? You wish leeches were as cute as me. Azram mock squints at you, letting his eyes trail over your features. Dunno, had to think about that one. You are so mean. God, trying to make me leave? Azram's arm tightens around you immediately to prevent any thoughts of escaping, and you laugh. The sound makes Azram huff a laugh as well. Stupid idiot. Azram's eyes glint in the dark. For some people, that'll have been the last thing they saw before their untimely demise, but for you, it means you'll sleep without worry or fear. It's hard to look away. When the moment lasts longer than intended, Azram's gaze grows serious and thoughtful. There's a hint of regret there too, almost like you're not the only one who's struggling with the thought of parting ways. You ride the small wave of courage that surges through you before you can change your mind. Azram, can I kiss you? Azram's eyes grow wide, and you feel the thump of his heartbeat stutter erratically under your palm. Kiss me. Only if you want. You echo his earlier statement. Through his bewilderment, a smile breaks out on Azram's face. Yes, of course. I would have said, I thought you might not. You cut off any lingering doubts by pressing your lips against his. It's the correct response. Azram sighs in relief and melts into you without further protest. It's been long enough since your first night together that it feels new all over again. And when a familiar sound of a low groan in Azram's races your ears, a hot flush spikes through you. Hehe. Though Azram starts off gentle, trying to kiss you around his protruding tusks so there's no chance of hurting you, it doesn't take all that long for him to be thrown off kilter. You're having a hard time pretending at restraint too, and fist your hand in the short hair at the nape of his neck. He breaks off the kiss, out of breath, and isn't that a sight? The big scary mirth gasping for air because of a few kisses, and presses his forehead against yours in an obvious attempt at self-control. You're still squeezed flush against him, though your bedroll is now no longer a cozy blanket, and more like an annoying sweaty cage keeping you from feeling all of him properly. Been thinking about doing that for a while. Then hurry up and do it again. Azram closes his eyes and lets out a rough laugh, squeezing you into a tight hug. You half wriggle, half kick yourself free of your bedroll, and curl up in the safety of his arms, the desire humming through your veins as far from settled down. But you're happy to draw out tonight as long as you reasonably can. After coaxing you to drape yourself over his chest, Azram catches you in another lingering kiss, hands running up and down your sides. Might not be enough. What is? Having you just for tonight. Should have said something sooner. You sigh in agreement and lose yourself for a moment in the crook of his neck, planting kisses and biting at his skin that gets Azram to make increasingly interesting hitching noises. Then, stay with me a little longer, silent. When you push yourself up a little higher and look at him in the eyes, you find him looking at you like you've grown wings in a halo. You won't mind. You press a kiss against the jagged scar that rides from his lip to his cheek, and Azram flushes again. Why would I mind? I like you. I like your company. Alright then, brace. Aww. Oh, wow. Oh, I thought it was but it's more Without any warning, Azram flips you over onto your back and tugs at your trousers, making his intent for the rest of the night clear as day. You shimmy your hips to help, excitement fluttering in your stomach, not just with the promise of pleasure, but also with the knowledge that tonight won't be the end after all. There's things to talk about, itineraries to discuss, but later. Right now, you're too distracted by rough roaming hands sliding over your bared skin with a new edge of sweetness to your previous intimacy. You tumble into the night together, hushed laughter over the quiet crackle of the firelight, feeling warm in more ways than one. Yay! That's the first ending! Woohoo! Let's see if I can get some of these other endings. Alright, we're back at this tarot section. I'm gonna pick some different cards and read them this time. I'm gonna pick the Scabbard. Azram Tisk's past. Why do I need a card to tell me about the past? Haven't I already lived it? Hush! Don't mock the powers that be. So, your past starts off with the Scabbard. You flip the card to show him. On it there is a hand holding a greatsword upright. The blood drips off the metal onto the skin. Its dark sheen contrasted against the hazy smoke drifting up in the background. You sure this one isn't called the Blade? Because that's all I see. Cards aren't always that literal. Sometimes it's a metaphor. Without a scabbard, a blade runs wild. You see? It's about absence. This card represents aimlessness, bloodthirst, contention, self-inflicted harm, being without a home or a cause. Azram lets out a soft hum. Eyes trained on the card in your hands. His expression doesn't give much away, and you wonder if he recognizes himself in the description. So maybe you went around and fought a lot of people for no good reason. Maybe you fought yourself or made decisions that didn't really benefit you in the long run. Maybe violence was the only way you could respond to the world around you. Can't say that sounds unfamiliar. Done a lot of bad things. It all seemed to matter so much at the time, but now, I don't know. You watch Azram lose himself in thought. A cricket chirps low in the grass near you. If you could have a do-over of something in your past, what would it be? I only get the one. Yes. And don't you say you wish you hadn't met me. Azram chuckles, eyes softening. Didn't realize this was a game with terms and conditions. I told you, this isn't a game. I guess I wish I'd be kinder to my mentor. Azram's eyes flick down at the card in your hands again. My sins are my own, but They caught the brunt of my anger. Don't know why they bothered with me at a certain point. More trouble than I was worth, really. This goes to show how much they cared about you. Maybe they saw something of themselves in you. Maybe. Hard to imagine them like how I used to be, though. People change all the time. I bet you're not like how you were a year ago, even now. Maybe so. That's a nice thought, if true. Although, who knows? Maybe I change for the worse, or the better. You mull those words over as you place the scabbard back on the pile. Alright, ready for the next? Sure. I'll do the pass cards. You flip over the next card on the pass stack. The glow of the campfire makes the flames on the illustration shimmer in vibrant colors, falling out to you as though alive. Look at that, fire. Does that mean I burned to death previously? You summon your best impression of the Azram look, flat and unimpressed. Going by Azram's snort, you don't quite manage to pull it off. Certainly would have deserved it, but this card isn't a literal burn at the stake kind of deal. The fire usually signifies some kind of turning point, something that changed everything. Usually for the better. Fire is cleansing. You get to burn who you were before and start again, reborn. I see. Was there something like that for you? Something that changed you? Yeah, there was. The cost of it was so great that Azram cuts himself off and sighs, turning his gaze back up to the night sky. A faint cloud drifts by, and the stars flicker as though winking down at you. I hate myself for letting it happen. What happened? Got myself in trouble. That other card, what was it? The scabbard? It sounded more like who I used to be than I'd like, restless and angry at the world. And my mentor took the fall from me, ruined their own good name for my sake. I couldn't stay with them after that. Oh, sorry, it sounds really tough. I don't want to undo anything. I want to live with my regret. I don't need to be cleansed by fire or otherwise, but I wish. Azram's voice trails off into the dark, his eyes pained. You wonder if this is something he's ever shared with anyone else before. I understand, but I don't think there's anyone who hasn't made mistakes, even if they feel really big. Did you ever go back and see your mentor again? No, I feel ashamed of what I did. I can't imagine they want to see me now, after all these years. I think you should visit them. You think so? Of course, they cared a lot about you, right? I bet they'd be really happy to hear from you again. I guess I'll think about it some more. You give Azram a half smile as your hand hovers over the 3 stack. That's 2 down, 3 of arrows. Alright, last card. Ready? You flip over the 3rd and final card on the stack of Azram's past and hum. 3 of arrows. A sparkling white bow is drawn taut against the background of the deep blue sky, with a large golden moon and a sprinkle of stars. Knocked on its string are 3 white arrows caught forever in the moment of tension just before. Mean anything good? Well, this one's kind of a mixed bag, so there's a lot of wiggle room for its interpretation. You can read it as having a purpose, focus, literally taking aim. Maybe you have something you're working towards and are really bent on getting it right. But the bow is still a weapon. The 3 arrows can mean you're struggling on multiple fronts, taking a lot of things on at the same time. Azram lets out an unimpressed huff. So it's saying I need to pick up the slack, huh? Maybe. Sometimes the card can function as a warning. Kinda like, hey, watch out, the path you're taking right now is gonna be difficult. Nothing I haven't done before then. You smile a little. If you need help, you know I'll give it to you. Nah, I'll be fine. Always dealt with things on my own. That's what I'm used to. Always on your own, really. You've never traveled in a party before. No, you're the first. Azram's voice is quiet, sincere in a way that strikes you. It makes your heart skip a beat. You wonder if there's anyone that knows as much about Azram's past as you do after this reading. Maybe it's the familiarity of being on the road together on the darkness of night that makes it easier for him to speak. But Azram has never been this talkative before. You let out a weak laugh to hide the fact that you're starting to flush under his gaze. Guess I'm pretty special after all. You keep telling yourself that. But wait a minute, that can't be true. You had your mentor, didn't you? That's true, but that was a long time ago. Then would you ever want to be a mentor for someone else? Give others purpose? I don't know. I'm not sure if I have the patience for it, really. Teaching is an art, much like fighting, and not everyone can master both. Maybe learning to teach will make you a better fighter, too. You know, since you need to know what you're doing before you're instructing others. Maybe so, but I've only ever fought to win. I'm not sure how I'd do otherwise. And so, the teacher becomes student. I guess I would be in a way. With that, you place the final card back on the stack. Well, that's the last of it, so let's put it together now. There might have been a time in your past where you felt angry and lost, at the world or at yourself, and where violence was the easiest answer. After a certain point in life, something big happened, and that meant you changed in a major way, maybe even to the point of a rebirth. And finally, despite still struggling in some way, you found a purpose, something that you could put your focus towards or work hard for. And that's it. What do you think? Azram listens to you with a small smile, and watches as you carefully put your cards away again. Well, it was new. Never got my fortune read before. Didn't know a card could guess my past like that. Sure how I like how close it got. Sometimes it's eerie how accurate they are, right? You lie back down and stifle a yawn. You're starting to feel drowsier, but you're also a little cold. While summer days can be blazing hot, nights turn cool, and the embers of the dying fire aren't doing enough to chase away the chill. You bury your nose deeper into your bedroll, suppressing a shiver. Cold, you let out stuff and curl closer to the campfire. Come here. Azram beckons you closer, and reaches for the shoulder pelt that served as his pillow until now. When you wriggle closer to his side, he drapes it over you, top of your bedroll. The fact that Azram is basically a walk-up furnace doesn't hurt either, even when you're just lying sitting next to each other. Better? No, thanks, Azram. Of course. The hush of the night cloaks the two of you once. It's peaceful out here. Pocket of time kept separate from reality. A cloud drifts past, obscuring the moonlight and throwing the world into a deeper darkness. Hey, where are you going to go after Willow's End? Your voice almost feels too loud and too real for it to break through this otherworldly silence. It's a question that's been weighing heavily on your mind, and there won't be another chance to ask it. Azram exhales slowly, and you watch his chest fall and rise again. Got some things to take care of, so I'll probably head north, do some jobs along the way. Azram's voice drifts off. Lost to plans made without you to account for. You knew it was coming, but it still makes you feel a little lonely. Do you think we'll see each other again? I don't know. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? If I could say yes, and that's the way of the world. All things pass. I guess you're right. I just wish it wouldn't feel so sad. Even that past too. Might be for the best anyway. We're different people walking different roads. You sigh, burying your nose into Azram's pelt. It smells of sweat, leather, and smoke. Eventually, whatever lingers of him on you will fade, and somewhere in the future you'll be strangers again. That's sad. Still, you hope he doesn't entirely forget you. You certainly won't forget anytime soon. You don't have the courage to ask him, however, and look up at the stars instead. Even if everything else changes around you, at least they'll always be there, looking down at you from the night sky. It's the last thing you see before your eyes droop and you're lulled into a deep dreamless sleep. Oh, that one was sad. Alright, I'm gonna try and get some of the other ones. So for this ending, I chose all the same options as the first route. However, I declined to cuddle with him, which was really hard. I love cuddling with him. A cloud drifts past, obscuring the moonlight and throwing the world into a deeper darkness. Hey, where are you gonna go after Willow's End? Your voice almost feels too loud and too real for it to break through this otherworldly silence. It's a question that's been weighing heavily on your mind, and there won't be another chance to ask. Azram exhales slowly, and you watch his chest rise and fall again. Got some things to take care of, so I'll probably head north, do some jobs along the way. Azram's voice drifts off, lost to plans made without you to account for. You knew it was coming, but it still makes you feel a little lonely. Do you think we'll see each other again? Yeah, maybe. It's a big world, but who knows? If we meet again in some tavern at night, I'll buy you a drink. I'm so gonna hold you to that. You try to make light of it. It still feels like he's saying this more for your benefit than the truth of it. You know chances are slim that you'll run into each other again, especially if Azram is going up north. Still, you want to believe in chance. Fortune always had a favor of coming around, one way or another. If you're meant to meet again, you will, and if not, you won't forget the time you spent with Azram. Rolling onto your side, you look at the burnt up wood glowing red in the dying campfire. You wish onto its little sparks drifting up in the sky for another chance meeting like their stars. It's the last thing you see before your eyes droop and you're lulled into a deep dreamless sleep. That one was sad as well. Oh, man. Okay, so that was A Tavern at Night. I am kind of silly and I can't find the fourth ending. So I'm going to keep figuring it out and post it in the comments below. But thank you so much for experiencing this story with me. I love the first installment of A Tavern at Night so much. There is something about Azram that just makes me love him so much. He's so comforting, sweet, and also like, you know, rugged, handsome, troubled past. But thank you so much for experiencing this story with me. If you guys liked the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I absolutely love chatting with you guys. And if you want to hang out outside of these videos, I stream on Twitch 4 times a week. Feel free to come by and hang out with the lovely community and myself if you want a place to just relax for a little bit. But until next time, look after yourselves and take care.